So I'm 24 years old, and I've been trying my hand at dating men specifically for probably about 5-6 years now, in a serious way. I'm single at the moment. My boyfriend and I just broke up recently, and I have probably dated about like 4 to 5 men, seriously. Keep running into the same issues every single time I date a man, and I've been trying to like really get to the root of what it is. And now I know what you're thinking. You probably have a type. I do not have a type. These men don't know each other. They're not friends. They're not from the same area. They don't look alike. I really do not have a type. The only thing that these men have in common is that they are men. I really have been reflecting a lot and trying to figure out what like the root of all these issues is. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect, but I'm not the reason that any of these relationships ended. One of the main issues that I've come to recognize is that I don't think men are really socialized to know what it means to truly love someone, like love their partner and care for their partner. Obviously, I'm not saying this is all men, but I think it's just not normalized for them to like, I don't know, just like, I guess I don't know how to phrase it. What I'm saying, for example, is that every single one of these men individually has looked me in my eyes and told me that I am the love of their life, I'm the most important person in their life, that they would take a bullet for me, and every single one of them has treated me horribly, okay? I don't know about you, but when I tell somebody they're the love of my life and that they're the person I care about the most, I show it. I'm treating them accordingly. Part of it that really trips me up is that they believe it. They actually believe in their heart that I'm the love of their life and I'm the person they care about the most. I start calling it out. I would be like, you do not love me and you do not care about me. Like, point blank, period. Otherwise, you wouldn't be treating me badly. And they will argue and they get genuinely, offended. They get offended. I honestly pity them because I don't think they're socialized to know what that means. And, I don't know how to get it across in a meaningful way to them. They just don't listen. And I'll be like, okay, you wouldn't have done this bad thing to me if you actually loved me in the way that you say you do. That is not what love is. That's not what love is. When you love someone, you don't do things to intentionally or even unintentionally hurt them. Why is that considered love to you? I'm just I don't know where it's coming from. I honestly pity them because that has to be awful, but I can't handle it anymore, dude. I'm having a hard time too because not to bring sexuality into this, but I did date a woman at one point for 3 years and I felt so loved and cared for by her. There was no question about it. I really started questioning myself and my sexuality when I was 19 and going off into college, and our relationship ended because I was like, I think I might actually be straight. And that's just how I felt. I couldn't do anything about it. I felt awful. Obviously, that's horrible. And now I'm really not attracted to women in that way, which sucks. That sucks. I want to be with a man, but I don't think it's possible to find a man that has that capability. Where are they? Where are they? I'm looking around and none of them know. I can't.
I am almost 30 years old and I've never had a boyfriend. And I am embarrassed about that. I actually truly am embarrassed about that. I'm kind of in shock I'm even admitting it on the internet right now. But I'm 30 years old and I've never had a boyfriend. I don't even think there's ever been a man in my life who's been interested in me beyond just my body. 100%. And that has developed into some deep-rooted insecurities. I have never even had a man have a crush on me. Ever. I didn't have a Valentine growing up. I didn't have any of that. Never had a school boyfriend. Didn't even have my first kiss until I was 22 years old. And it was the same night I lost my virginity. Was the day I had my first real kiss. Where someone actually kissed me. I had a kiss in a truth or dare game one time when I was 17 years old. And it was that. But I'm talking a real kiss. And the thought of being almost 30 and never having had a boyfriend and no prospects of it genuinely terrifies me. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to live alone. I enjoy being single, but it is not how I want to spend the rest of my life. I want a boyfriend and I want a family. And I think sometimes I feel like women who are single and are happy to be single. I don't think there's anything wrong with being single. I'm fine with being single right now. I just don't want to be single forever. And I feel like we're not allowed to ever say that, I am single now, but I don't want to be single forever. I'm happy where I am now, but I don't want to stay here forever. And I feel like we're not allowed to say that. So I'm saying it. I'm almost 30, never had a boyfriend, and I want one. Speak it into existence, I guess.
I just saw this dude on Instagram that claims that if women didn't get a financial benefit from divorce, then the divorce rate would collapse by 90% overnight. And the amount of dudes in the comments supporting him and supporting that statement absolutely blows my mind. It makes me seriously wonder, are there any real men left in this world? There definitely weren't any real men in that comment supporting that dude. And seriously, that's why you think she's leaving. And when I started to argue with them, do you know what they said back to me in the comments? They said, it's a proven fact in studies that women initiate divorce more often than men. Yes, I know. It's a proven fact in studies that women initiate more divorces more often than men. I concede that point. Let me give you one other study. Men cheat more often than women. Think that might be a reason? No, it's because of your money, right, bro? It's not because you cheated. It's because of your money. Listen, if she's leaving you because she's cheating, she's not a gold digger, all right? That's called consequences. Take some accountability, accept some responsibility, and make better decisions in your life, bro. Stop blaming her for leaving you when you cheated, man. Seriously, man, she's going to go run off with 3 kids, live in a 1-bedroom apartment for your extra $800 a month. That's what she's looking for? Come on, man. 10 years ago, she got together with you so she could plot this whole thing to get your extra $800. Come on, bro. Grow up, man. Jeez, there's some bad men out there.
How the fuck is it fair that 2 people could be married, one decides they want out of that marriage, they could even cheat, and then in most cases the husband winds up having to pay alimony and support 2 households, all because his wife didn't want to be with him or wanted to cheat on him? How is that fair?
Men, what is the equivalent for you that is flowers for a girl?
Oh, that's easy. And it's the one thing that most men will never get in any relationship. It's the one thing that every man wants, every man craves, and almost never receives. And the best part is, ladies, it doesn't cost you a dime. Won't require a trip to the store. Heck, it doesn't even require a special occasion. What it does require, though, is effort. Effort on your part, which, let's be honest, isn't something most women would even consider, let alone do. And what is it? What is that equivalent to flowers for men? It's peace. Pure, unadulterated, blissful peace. If you really want to make a gesture, if you really want to show him you care, if you really want to show him how much you appreciate him, then give him a day of peace. Well, that and a really, really good.
Well, child of God, welcome on today's episode. I'm Y311H. It's such a pleasure to be joined by you. Kindly hold on till the end. I've got gifts for you for that gesture. Now, up to this point, looks like today's videos are all about love, relationship, and the 2 people being together. Wow, it's quite some good vibes. You see, this issue of people being single and it being a bother to them really surprises me. Myself, I've been single for quite some time, and to be honest, it never bothers me. It only becomes a bother when I hear people talking about it. And that's when I ask myself, do you mean it is so much important for someone to have someone? Anyway, I'd like to hear your perspective, good vibes source on that. You there watching, my friend. Are you in a relationship? Do you have a boyfriend, girlfriend? Do you have multiple? How does it go? You can tell us and help us understand one another in the comment section. You see? And to all the people watching that are in love and have partners, good vibes to you. Show them good vibes, kindness, love, so that they can also project it to the whole world. Let's continue watching, my friend. There is interesting stuff coming up. Make sure you don't miss out. Good vibes.
Men, if you're out shopping for anything and you see a woman that just keeps popping up, she's not just popping up for no reason. That girl is stalking you. She is hoping to God that you will say something. She's attracted to you. Say hi.
He probably doesn't care because, for one, he's not shopping for a girlfriend. He's literally shopping for something else, and he's just busy trying to find that something else, and then he wants to get out of there. Two, if you're the one interested in him and you can't even just say hi, because you could literally say anything to a man to show that you're interested in him and to start a conversation. But the fact that you can't do that, it doesn't bode well for a potential relationship where you're unable to communicate things to him. He would rather cross out that potential relationship. Lastly, 3, he's not falling for it. He does not believe you. He has been trained to believe in, quite honestly, the opposite, that women are not interested in him. Because he doesn't want to fall into the trap of misinterpreting a woman's actions and thinking that she's interested in him when she isn't. And then he could be labeled a creep, which is interesting because it's her that's the stalker, not him.
Watch this ex-Satanist explain how musicians are putting spells in their music.
I would sneak little bits of spells into my lyrics, which were veiled, like you couldn't really figure out what I was doing with my lyrics.
Would you be able to recognize if someone did that? Like, did you ever see songs maybe on the radio and you're like, this looks like there's something like that? Is there something there?
Oh, yes. I see a lot of it, especially in heavy metal, death metal. A lot of it are just strictly spells, but even a lot of pop songs. Like I hear it in mainstream artists. I'm not going to really mention too many, but read their lyrics again. Hear what they're actually saying, because it's not all fluffy, nice, teeny boppy lyrics. These are actual spells that they're doing and putting in their songs. And because they're so famous, I mean, I question what they have done to get there.
Well, it seems like today someone has finally made their way down the shafts that were found under the pyramids in Egypt. Clutch your pearls, girls, because now you're telling me that as of today, Dr. and archaeologist Rami, I'm not even going to try to say his last name because I don't want to be disrespectful to the Egyptian culture, is the first human being to make his way to the bottom of the shafts underneath the pyramid and has reported back what he found in the chamber at the bottom. And it is mind-blowing. Now, like always, take what you will, leave what you won't. I have purposely not talked about this topic yet because I like to have my facts backed. But as of today, allegedly, archaeologist Rami, I'm not going to try the name again, has made his way to the bottom, and what he found there was perfect blue like water chambers, I guess is what I'm referring to them as, with the most beautiful blue color water that he's ever seen in his life, with preserved humanoid body-like creatures in the water, with, as he describes, the most crystal clear blue color in their eyes that he has ever seen. Now, once again, anything we talk about is for conversation, learning, entertainment purposes only. But have you heard this? Because I've now read 10 different reports and seen multiple videos all over social media, all over the different forums, and they're all claiming the exact same thing. So tell me, have you heard this? Because this is going to shake up history and the truth of our world like nothing else. So let's have this conversation today because I want to know if more people know about this. So drop it in the comments.
Wolfies.
Man, that place looks cool, you see? But it also gives some scary vibes. Myself, I really enjoy watching good vibes like this. Do this for us. But being the first good vibe so down there to test, I wouldn't do that. But good vibe souls went and brought results back for us, which is a good thing. Now, child of God. Do you think that those things were really built by primitive people? People without wisdom and knowledge about modern stuff? Because the things I've just seen there, like some statues that are perfectly made. I don't even know which material is that, but I hope you can help me understand it. Now, good vibe source. These things we have just seen are quite fascinating and interesting, but they are nothing like what's to come up. You see, that's why I need you to stick along till the end so that together we can uncover the mysteries that lie in this world and get to know more about the stuff that's going on around us. Join us and hit that like button. Good vibes, my friends.
Einstein himself predicted that we would see this one day. The most powerful telescope in space released this image yesterday. This is the result of light bending its path around a massive object as it travels through space. This is actually two galaxies in a line from our perspective, so this one in the center is closer to us, and this ring around it is another galaxy behind it. The mass of this galaxy is literally bending the fabric of space. So this is that galaxy, but as light from the background galaxy travels through space towards us, it curves with the fabric of space itself. So instead of taking a straight line to reach us, it takes all of these different paths, which is what forms the ring. It's just completely distorted from that curvature and from the magnification effect that this galaxy has on this galaxy. This is kind of like the edge of a magnifying glass. Even though it's completely distorted, you can still make out some features like these arms and these spirals. So this background galaxy is definitely a spiral galaxy and probably looks something like this. But instead, we get this phenomenon called the Einstein ring, and these are some other examples of where we've seen it, and they're all gorgeous. Einstein predicted that we would see this before he ever saw one.
Have you ever wondered why your dog circles before laying down? So dogs are obviously descendants of wolves, and wolves instinctually will circle before they lay down in the wild. So why do they do this? Number one is a pretty obvious reason, is they're inspecting the floor to make sure no insects, snakes, things that could hurt them, sharp objects, make sure everything's good. But one that a lot of behaviorists believe is the reason why they circle before they lay down is in the wild, before laying down, you have to remember a wolf would be by himself or with his pack in the middle of nature. And what's in the middle of nature? Other predators. So what wolves would do is they would circle, try to find the direction of where wind is coming from, so they could smell predators from a distance when they were sleeping. So if you pictured a wolf sleeping in the wild, the wind is coming this way, they can smell the scent of a predator from very far away versus standing the other way. They're not going to really smell as much over there. So now you know why dogs will circle before they lay down. Love you guys. See you on the next one.
So there's an old saying out there that if the dog's tail is wagging, it's friendly. And that couldn't be any further from the truth. So we're going to do a little bit of tail education, tail diagnostics here with Jetpack so that we can better understand what a wagging tail might mean. So we're going to pay attention to the speed of the wag, and we're going to pay attention to the angle of the tail because each one means a little bit different. So we're actually going to start with the tail totally tucked. Now usually this is not wagging, but a tail totally tucked would indicate a very fearful dog. So then we're going to come out a little bit more. This is where we get that real low tail, and we usually get a little wag like this. This is usually coming from a very fearful dog or a very submissive dog, both of which don't necessarily mean happy. We're going to take it up a little bit further here, okay? We're going to come to this more mid-wag here, okay? This is probably the most concerning wag for me. So if we have a dog that's kind of just like this, it might be a dog that's thinking. It's kind of looking at things, it's thinking a little bit, right? We might have a thinking dog here. It doesn't necessarily mean a happy dog. Or if we see it go a little bit, and then it stops a little bit. Again, a dog that might be analyzing a sound, a smell in the air, something like that. If we have a pretty consistent, slow, methodical mid-wag here, this is usually a dog that could potentially become very aggressive. This little, slow, methodical mid-wag accompanied by some forward body posture, some stiff body posture is a pretty scary wag. This is where a pretty intense bite is going to come out. We're going to move up a little bit more here. This is usually more of our friendly dog wag here. It's not all the way up, it's not all the way down, it's slightly up and it's relaxed. This is usually our happy dog here. If we get all the way up to the top and we have kind of a real tight wag, that means a couple of different things. It can mean a dog that's kind of taking a very dominant body posture, trying to look as big as it can, and again, accompanied by other body language. And that dog might be ready to do something like start a dog fight or something like that. Could also be a dog that's just very alert. We've got that very high tail. It could also be a dog that if we've got this real high tail and it's starting to wag a little bit like this, it could be a dog just about ready to break into play. All of which have very nuanced differentiations within them that are accompanied by various facial features. So next time that you meet a strange dog in a yard or at a park or something like that, don't take it at face value that it's going to be friendly just because that tail's wagging. Every single position and every speed makes a difference.
Unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably come across the fact that there are a whole lot of celebrities that bear an awful similar resemblance to historic figures from our past. So similar, in fact, that you might mistakenly think they're the same people. Well, if you want to see something even stranger, stick around, because I'm about to show you a handful of statues that also bear a very striking resemblance to some pretty well-known people. Case in point, Michelangelo's David. You see, I couldn't help but notice a very striking resemblance between Baron Trump and David. And well, if you don't think he resembles King David, stick around, because he coincidentally resembles another very prominent historic figure. One that they also just happened to build a statue of. This is Alexander the Great. And again, to me, there is a striking resemblance. But this one, there's even more. Because when compared to Alexander the Great, not only does he bear a very similar resemblance, but the statue of Alexander the Great just happens to have the exact same 3 skin markings as Baron. Now you tell me what is going on here. But there's more. Have you ever typed in the original Statue of Liberty face? Because I bet maybe you didn't even know there was an old original one. And I couldn't help but notice the resemblance here to a certain king of rock and roll. I mean, I literally think this one is almost undeniable. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Oh, but Elvis doesn't just look like the Statue of Liberty. Type in the hypogeum of the voluminous family and look at these statues from the 3rd century BC. And you'll get pictures of a family's vault that just happened to have an angel that looks a lot like Elvis, even down to the sideburns. Even down to the sideburns. 2,000-year-old statue that's an angel. And have you ever seen the Egyptian statue that looks exactly like Michael Jackson? Oh, from just 3,000 years ago. Or the statue of the Roman Emperor Claudius. Check that one out and see if it resembles anyone to you. Because to me, there's a striking resemblance to him and Daniel Craig, otherwise known as Bond, James Bond. Now, in my opinion, there is one of 2 possible things that is going on here. One, there's just been billions and billions of people that have lived throughout history, and eventually there are just going to be people that coincidentally look like, and those people are just going to coincidentally happen to be the ones in the limelight. I don't think that's what's going on at all. Option 2, which I think is much, much more likely, is that the Bible is true, and God banished fallen angels down here amongst us humans, and they don't like that. They're mad that our spirits and our souls come and go and have an experience while they're stuck here. And whether they live endlessly or just for a certain amount of time and then get reincarnated in the exact same look-alike body, I don't know. But I know part of the reason they were banished down here is because they wanted to be worshipped like God instead of worshiping God. And well, isn't it just a huge coincidence that the people that we worship in today's day and age just happen to be the ones who also look exactly like people of the past? And while sometimes they have to fake their death or change their appearance so you don't realize that they're living a lot longer than the rest of us. But of course, all this is just for entertainment. I know that all the statues and the historic figures that look like today's people is option one. It's just a coincidence. There's billions of people in the world, and eventually they're gonna look alike. Entertainment only.
Oh, what? Child of God, let's assume for a minute or some few seconds what you've just heard is true. Now, good vibe source, could there be other earthlings here that have the secret to immortality and haven't shared it with other good vibe source? Well, that's quite unbelievable because here we talk about honesty. Why would people withhold such a secret? Now, you yourself, good vibe source watching, could you in any way have ever wished or wanted to be immortal? What is it that could have made you want to be immortal? And if not, tell us some of the reasons that might make you think being immortal is not, after all, so much beneficial. Thanks for watching all this way, my friend. Leaving your comments, hitting that like button. It's been a pleasure being with you here. I am Y311H. And to wrap up the show in style, in the middle of the episode, I promised you that I had a gift for you that I'd be passing to you as we wrap up the show. Now, this is the time for the unboxing. Hold on right there. Ha! Here it comes. Straight out of the book of wisdom. Hear what it tells us today. Hey, wait. I had marked the place, but I have found it. I have found it. This is what it says. When the righteous triumph, there is great elation. But when the wicked rise to power, men go into hiding. Where? Good vibes souls. We have always said that this is the book of wisdom. And those words, I need your help to comprehend them properly. They are from Proverbs 28:12. Interesting, right? Now, good vibes, child of God. Let's talk with our wonderful maker as we wrap up the show and ask for their guidance in our day-to-day lives and spreading good vibes. You see? Let's do so together kindly. Merciful Father, we glorify you for the day, Father. Glorify you and give you thanks for this chance, dear Lord, and this minute that you have reached. All glory and honor belong unto you. Father, we come today, Father, before you in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Together with their child here, Father, we are grateful for keeping us up to this point. All love and honor belong unto you, Father. Thank you for the blessings you've passed to this child of yours, Father, and for the uplifting of their souls. Thank you for the good things and gifts that you have in store for them, Father. May you show and reveal your love to them from wherever they are, Father. May your mercies not abandon them, dear Lord, and may you forgive them all their sins constantly, Father, in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Be good to them, Father, and uplift them. In your holy name, Jesus Christ, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Till next time, child of God, peace and love be with you. Let's meet in the next episode. In the meantime, you can check out this one here. It's full of good vibes. Bye bye. Peace.